Hi and welcome to the Monday Live. I'm a little bit late there, sorry. I had various things going on in my mind. What's happening? Well, we are into a new month, of course, February, which means January's past us, which is good and bad, I think. But we are responders rebid. So I should say I want you to carry on doubling. There's no excuse to stop doubling just because double annually is finished. However, we are looking at responders rebid, which is a nice topic, I think. It's obviously something that comes up very commonly. Basically the fourth bid of an auction. And it's where it starts getting hazy. So we'll have a look at that today. I'll pick up on some of the seminar and extend a little bit. The next two Mondays, they're slightly different. Next Monday, I am down in Two Bridges in Devon. So I'm recording that. In fact, I'll be recording it today for next Monday, which is extending this topic, Responders Rebid. The Monday after that is the half-term break, where we will be off to Italy skiing. So Alfie's going to be having a ski and we will report back from there. So most of the rest of it, of the programme as it were, so this Wednesday and this Friday are normal, and the teams for the week after is slightly adjusted, but I'll tell you closer to the time because I don't want to confuse this week's, as it were, and then the Friday as well. So just the Mondays. So next Monday recorded, and the Monday after we are on, of course, half term, which is for the week. So what else is there? Well, we've got the teams as normal, so that's fun. In terms of holidays and things that we're selling, let's have a look. I don't know what's on the programme. Let's have a look. Oh, Isle of Wight. There are some rooms left for the Isle of Wight, so do join us there. And Mallorca with Fran and Graham, which should be fun, which we've been doing quite consistently. And of course, our list of cruises. So you've got all sorts of choices, and we hope to expand in a variety of ways as we move forward. We'll have hopefully some interesting news coming during this year so that we can expand and do all sorts. So we'll keep you posted with that. And of course, you've got a whole array of UK events. That's the thing. You know, all sorts of things, whether it's at Denham or, oh gosh, there's a whole list at Denham there, you see. So, and you've even got sales going on. So there's plenty of things going on, so hopefully you can find some of those you enjoy. Remember, it's open to everybody. You don't have to be a member or non-member or whatever. The members, if you are a member of the site, you get 5% off the events, but which is not to be sniffed at or whatever. Do come and join us, have a little look around, and while you're looking around, of course, you can book an event. So I'm going to have the normal suspects today. We'll have a look at the 5-level decision that we looked on Friday, and then we'll look at the bidding quiz at the end. So there's plenty to look at. So let's go to that 5-level decision first. So we looked at this auction. We had it, and it went, we are the opening bidder. We opened one club. And there was a 2-spade weak jump over call. Your partner bid 3 spades, which you alert. We'll discuss what that is once we've decided what to bid. And then North bids 4 spades. So one club, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades. Now, North, South are non-vulnerable, East, West are vulnerable. So we are vulnerable in this auction. So it goes 1 club, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades here. And it's your choice of bid. There's quite a lot to think about here. So have a think about it. And we will revisit that after we get to go through our seminar. So 1 club, 2 spades, jump over call, weak. 3 spades from your partner, 4 spades from North. Okay, and have a think what you might do. Okay, So let's get to the seminar. We're looking at responders Rebid. So as usual, what I tend to do on the Mondays is take a little bit of the big seminar. So if you remember, don't forget, you can look at the big seminar and have a good close look at it and take your time over it. Here, I just take a little bit of it and expand a little. So let's have a look. And of course, the way I start any responders Rebid seminar is to remind you that if the opening bidder bids 2 suits, he's promising 5 cards in the first, and that's a fundamental part of ACOL. Now, there is the odd exception where he'll have a 4-4-4-1 hand, but we tend to ignore that, okay? And one of the major reasons that we try to avoid opening a major with a 4-4-4-1 hand is so that we don't tell lies about the major. Okay, so support with 3 cards. So let's look at a classic auction. Excuse me, 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 diamonds. Really important that West rebids in his second suit here. He does not need to rebid 2 hearts to promise 5 hearts. The 2 diamonds does it for him. So East is comfortable that his side have a heart fit, so he doesn't just bid 2 hearts. He makes the jump to 3 hearts. And in fact, I'm not going to look closely at defining how we bid when we've got support, but the key is once you've found a denomination that you're comfortable with, then all you're doing is adding your points together or you're counting losers. So here both 11 points and 8 losers point you to jump to 3 hearts. Partner, we have a definite heart fit. And of course, once West has a heart fit, he can get excited with his hand. He'll only bid 4 hearts here, but you can see West has a lot better than a minimum hand once he once he knows he's got a fit with that singleton there. Okay, so when partner has made a limit bid, I won't spend much time on this, but the idea is if partner has rebid 1 no trump, for example, or he's supported your suit, then you should be in charge. All you do basically is you use the losing trick count or point count system, whichever you feel happy with, both if you want, because every kind of evaluation is good as long as you're using them well. They work well. So any sequence like 1 heart, 1 spade, 1 no trump, sorry, or 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 spades here, okay? You're the next to bid. You're making responders rebid to you, the responder. You now know partner has a minimum hand and likes spades. Okay, or if we go 1 heart, 1 spade, 1 no trump, once again, you know opener has 15 to 17 points. What's happened there? 15 to 17 points and a balanced hand. Okay, and again, you use your point count system there, or with 1 spade, 2 spades, you can use your losing trick count. Okay, so we're not looking deeply at that. For me, that's a bit of arithmetic, etc. You can invite, you can jump to game, etc. What I discuss in the big seminar on responders rebid is the 3 main situations, and today we're going to be looking at weak opposite weak, but I'll quickly put the 3 main situation here. As a weak responder, having heard partner make a weak rebid, you're not going for game. You're desperately trying to find the best part score, and that is it. Okay, so you're scurrying around, and we're going to look at that in 2 different ways. Game is not on, so it's your job to find. Clearly, if partner shows a strong rebid, perhaps a reverse bid or a jump rebid, game might be on. Can't be sure if you've got 6 to 9 points, but game might be on because partner is saying he's got more than just a weak excuse me, weak opening bid. Now, of course, later on, in fact, this is what I'll look at next Monday as a recap, as it were. We're going to look at when responder's got 10 or more points. That means the responder has enough to make 2 bids and expands the range of what he has available to him. He can be a bit more expansive. He's able to rebid 2 no trumps, and we'll also look at the 4 suit 4 suit. However, today let's focus with a weak and weak. Let's focus on trying to find the best part score, basically trying to stop the auction quickly. Okay, so do not get out of hand. Stay low and try to work out what your best possibility is. Okay, let's have a look. So very, very often you give in to partner. So partner will have shown you 2 suits perhaps, just let him have it. Okay, and you're going to choose between the two. You can rebid your suit, but that means you are overruling the opening bidder. Now that's naughty. So therefore, to do that, you do need a strong and long suit, and I mean both of those, and it's got to be 6. Okay, so it's 6 cards and it should be strong. I mean, if you've got Jack to 6 and out, you know, really leave partner playing his suit. You've got to, if I rebid my suit as a responder, I'm saying, partner, if you've got a singleton, just pass me, because I'm pretty sure this is the right contract. At the 1 level, you can escape in 1 no trump. That's worth knowing. Okay, so I'll repeat the examples I had in the big seminar here, and then I wanted to extend this to include something that we talked about a year or so ago, which is quite important. Okay, so once again, all we're trying to do here is pick the best part score. There's no particular excitement, but actually if you can pick the best part score, you can get some great scores, sometimes by going 1 off rather than 2 off in the wrong one. Okay, so let's look at those simple examples. So we've got a reasonable hand as the opening bidder. We open a heart, partner bids a spade, and we rebid 2 diamonds. Now I am going to look, as I say, at the end of this little mini seminar, we're going to look at the idea of finding the best part score and how it can vary. And what we're going to say is that when we've only got 6 or 7 points as the responder, to be honest, we're looking for the safest part score, not the best scoring, because we're not necessarily expecting to make. Here, with just 7 points opposite what could be a weak partner, a partner could just have 12 or 11 points here. You could just, the opponents might have the majority of the points and should perhaps be making a contract of their own. So here you are choosing, I think, between hearts and diamonds. Your spades are nowhere near good enough. If you rebid 2 spades here, your partner will pass, and he will not be impressed with the result. So here you are going to choose between diamonds and hearts, and I would have thought with 3 nice diamonds and a singleton heart, I think pass seems a reasonable option here. Obviously, you'll expect only to be in a 4-3 fit, but sometimes your partner will have 5 diamonds, so you know, and it might be a reasonable contract. Here, you've got chances. You might be at a rougher heart in the east hand. And so if you can do that, you can see 4 diamond tricks, a heart trick, a club trick, and a rough. You know, you're getting close. You're getting close. So we could see. Okay, let's change the hand subtly. And again, it goes 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 diamonds. And this, of course, is a classic situation that I hope all of us are familiar with. It's not comfortable necessarily, but it's what we call false preference, where we go back to a major. Now, as I say, we're going to have a closer look at this today with regard to duplicate scoring and looking at a traveller. But for the most part, if you've only got 1 extra card in the minor, you tend to go back to the major. So although you have better diamonds than hearts, we tend to go back to hearts because it scores more. And actually a 5-2 fit is better than a 4-3 fit. Now, it is true to say that obviously West could have 5-5 in the red suits. Okay, in which case diamonds will play better than hearts, but in the long run, you will find that giving false preference, so bidding 2 hearts, is worthwhile here, because if both contracts make, hearts score more than diamonds, and if they both make, maybe, I mean, I'm going to show an example later where diamonds makes 10 tricks, hearts makes 9, but of course hearts score more. So particularly if it's a major, going back to the major makes sense. Okay, so that's what we call false preference. And a couple more, and then we'll look at the other aspect of this topic. So once again, 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 diamonds. Here, of course, East is looking at his hand and he thinks, well, look, do you know, my spades are lovely here. I don't expect to make those spades with any other suitors' trumps. I don't expect to make them in no trumps either, because I've got to establish the suit, and by the time I've established the suit, I probably won't have an entry. Now, it turns out the King of Clubs is an entry here, but you won't be able to establish the spades without using that. And once the king of clubs is gone, you don't get back there. So in no trumps, it would be hopeless. All you'll do is make the king of clubs in the east hand. You know that if you play in 2 spades, you've got 4 extra tricks for partner, or close to 4 extra tricks. So it has to be right here to bid 2 spades. Interesting, someone asking there, what's the right thing to do if it goes going to false precedent? If it goes 1 spade, let's say 2, well, it's going to be 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 hearts from partner. It's very close, and we'll be looking at that, Brian, in the second part, because when the both suits are a major, so 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 hearts, it's quite interesting, and it's going to depend on the texture you have in your hand as to whether you want to be in the 5-2 fit or the 4-3 fit. But it's much closer now, because if it's both majors, or for that matter both minors, then of course you're in a scenario where the 2 suits will score the same. Very often though, if you're given a choice between 5-2 and 4-3, the 5-2 works better, because when you're forced to ruff, you still have length in trumps, where if you 4-3 and the 4 card suit ruffs, you're down to 3-3. Okay, so here you rebid 2 spades, partner should pass. Now, a lot of people would struggle with this, but what 2 spades says in this auction is, partner, I am weak. I want to play in 2 spades. Do not let me down. Do not make another bid, partner. Okay, so I would say the hardest bid in this auction is the pass from West. A lot of people will bid 2N there thinking, well, obviously partner's got something in his hand. He's got lots of spades. I've got everything else. But as you can see, 2N would be a complete disaster. Remember, all you'll do is make 1 trick from the east hand. In 2 spades, meanwhile, you'll make 4 tricks from the well, you'll make 4 spades and the king of clubs, so the east hand will be really useful. And I think you'll make 2 spades, whereas anything else other than spades you're going to really struggle in. Okay, as I say, in a no trump contract, the only trick you'll make in the east hand is the king of clubs, assuming the defence play sensibly. Well, even if they don't, I think. And here, of course, if you stay at the 1 level, you do still have the option of finishing in 1 no trump. So let's look at this. It goes a club, a diamond, a spade. Now, at this point, you've got a choice of options. You could go back to 2 clubs here, giving false preference. You could, I suppose, pass 1 spade out. But given you're playing at the 1 level, why not choose the most obvious option, 1 no trump? I think if I had if I didn't have the jack of diamonds here, so if I had a completely bald 6 count and it was queen empty to 6, I might just pass 1 spade and just hope we get out of the situation, because you're trying to slow things down. But I think with decent hearts, decent diamonds, partners bid the other 2 suits, 1 no trump seems a reasonable option here. Partner, I think this is our best part score. Remember, you know, you're only looking at 19 points, so you're unlikely, if you haven't got a fit, you're not going to make any contracts you finish in, or you're unlikely to. So you're just trying to find the least bad contract. And the point is, you have the option of still bidding a no trump. A no trump in this auction is saying exactly the same as a 1 no trump response to an opening bid. It's still 6-9. You're a responder, and you're only saying you have enough strength to bid to 1 no trump opposite an opening bid. So don't feel that you've done a 1 no trump rebid, because it's a responder's rebid. Okay, so that's what's so difficult in bridge, in a way, is that from the perspective of each different bidder, the bids mean different things. So again, here 1 no trump is still showing you 6-9. Okay, so that's from the seminar. What I'm going to do is bring something in which we did in October the previous year. So that's not 2024, it must be 2023, where we're talking about greed, and we're talking about trying to choose the best part score. And the question is should we be in no trumps or a suit, or should we be in a major or a minor? So we've got to compare the scores for no trumps, majors and minors. Now, what always worries me is a lot of you have to look at the back of the bidding card to see what the score is. And when you're in the bidding, it's really important to understand the nuances of the duplicate scoring system. Every 10 points makes a difference. Every 10 points counts. And I'll just show you a couple of the travelers that I put up. I mean, here you can see, look at the scores here. I'm not worried about the actual hand itself on this one. I'm just showing you what can happen. Here you've got 140, 130, 120 and 110. It shows two things. It says which denomination do we want to be in, but it also shows how important it is to make your over tricks. Okay, here, I mean, it looks like clubs is probably the best contract, but if you manage to make 2 spades plus 1, wow, you get the best score and you get a fantastic score. So it's just being aware in various situations of what you're going for. Clearly no trumps can be more risky. Sometimes it'll go 2 or 3 off if you don't get it right. But again, if you can make a no trump contract, an extra 10 points. So I can see, obviously it looks like 8 tricks in spades seems about the norm. Someone's scraped 8 tricks in no trumps. But you can see if you can get to the top of these particular travelers, you get some lovely scores. And often people overlook part score hands as boring. Often they're the ones that we can make these great gains. Let's look at another traveller here. So here, again, I've given a traveller where I think the best contract is probably 3 clubs, but that doesn't necessarily get you the best score. Interestingly, you've made an extra trick in clubs, but spades gets the same score for making 1 fewer. It's important that if you do end up in a minor that you do aim for as many tricks as possible. You can see someone played safe in 2 clubs there and has got a bottom. And those that risked no trumps for making 8 tricks, they get a top. Making 7 is a bottom, but if they make 8 tricks, they get a top. And so getting on the right side of these travellers is so important. And of course, in the seminar that we did then, we talked about a variety of situations, one of which was responders rebid. Okay, so minors versus majors is a really tight decision. And very often we're going to choose the major fit if we've got any choice. But bear in mind that they might not be a fit. So you might be comparing a genuine fit in a minor to a partial fit in a major. And that's tricky. And for me, a lot of the time, I mean, let's look at a common situation. This is the one I want you to think about, where opener has bid 2 suits here. Opener has bid 2 suits, and we've got a decision to make. Now, there's going to be times where we've got a fit in clubs, but is that the contract we want to play in? So you've got 4 clubs opposite your partner. Are you sure that 2 clubs is going to get you the best score? And what I tend to do here as the responder is I look at my strength. If I've got 6 points, I don't think there's that much of chance of us even making the contract. So I want to probably aim for the safest contract. Whereas if I've got 9 points, remember I've responded 1 no trump, if I've got 9 points as the 1 no trump bidder, well then partner's minimum is 12, we've got 21 points, etc. I'm quite hopeful of making the contract. At that point, I tend to get greedy. So with 6 points, I'm just looking for safety. But with 9 points in this kind of auction, I'm thinking, okay, we've got a good chance of making this. How can I make the most points possible? Does that make sense? Okay, so in this, we're trying to choose which suit. I don't think we're ever really going to finish in 2 no trumps here, so it's all about the suit. Sometimes it can be your own suit. Remember, if you've got a 6-card diamond suit with just 6 or 7 points, well then you respond 1 no trump. You would now have the option of rebidding your suit, and if the suit was good, that's maybe what you would do because you'd be hopeful that that will give you the best score. So is it a major, is it a minor, or is it even your own suit? How do we decide? Okay, and the thing to remember is that 9 tricks in a minor is worth the same as 8 in a major. So taking a risk in a major can be worthwhile, but you've got to be realistic. Are you expecting to make? And so that's what I want you to say to yourself. With 8 or 9 points, I think it's not unreasonable to hope to make the contract. Okay, and therefore go for broke, assuming you've got a realistic chance. Whereas weaker hands, I am going to settle for safety. So let's look. Obviously, you also have the option, which I'm not going to show an example of this time, of where you have that 6-card diamond suit or 6-card heart suit, for example, particularly a heart suit in this auction. Remember, with only 6 or 7 points, you have to respond 1 no trump the rubbish bid. You don't want to be responding 2 hearts, because partner might jump to 3 no trumps. You bid 1 no trump, but over his rebid, you do have the option of showing a long string. What I want to do is look at a couple of hands just to see the contrast. Remember though, honours in partner's suit are valuable. Okay, so let's look at this hand, for example. So it goes 1 spade from partner, 1 no trump, 2 clubs. Okay, and we're in the classic situation where we have a decision to make. What do you fancy? Well, I think I've got a decent hand here. I really do. Partner's shown 2 suits in which I've got an honour in both. I've clearly got a good fit in clubs. You know, and if I was just playing, if I was playing rubber bridge or teams or something like that, I would finish in clubs. I'm not gonna raise to 3 clubs. Raise to 3 clubs shows a decent hand. So here would probably show a hand that had a bit of distribution here. So remember, with only 9 points here, you don't want to be suggesting a game. If I'm playing duplicate pairs though, I expect to make this contract. I would risk 2 spades here, because I think I'm likely to get more points out of 2 spades than I am out of 2 clubs. 2 clubs is the safest contract, but expecting to make, remember, if I can scrape home in 2 spades, that gets the same score as 3 clubs. Okay. But if partner's got 2 decent suits here, let's give him ace king to 4, ace queen to 5, that kind of thing, you'll find that 2 spades gets that lovely score. Let me, you know, so honours in partner's suits a strong hand. I mean, you're as strong in a way as you can be for this auction. I'm expecting to make, so I'm going to get greedy. I'm going to bid 2 spades here. And I'll show you the full hand in a moment. And it's a lovely one where you'd love the traveller. Okay, because I have a feeling when you see the hand, we may be able to make 9 tricks in spades. You can make 10 tricks in clubs, and clubs is a great contract, but greed is good. Let's change the contract though. Let's change the hand, the responding hand, to a small doubleton spade. Very, very different now. The auction goes 1 heart, 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 clubs again. And now I have no inclination to think that we're going to make this contract easily. I'm not going to stretch to 2 spades in a month of Sundays here. Here I am just passing 2 clubs. I'm hopeful that we might make. And if they come in another suit, maybe we compete to 3 clubs. But I'm only thinking clubs here. No reason to think that 2 spades is going to be a particularly good contract. And I'm hopeful that 2 clubs might just go 1 off, and 2 spades is probably going to go 2 off or something. If 2 clubs scrapes home, is 2 spades likely to make? I don't think so. Okay, so if I'm only going to scrape home in a contract, make sure it's a good one. So I would pass it. Okay, it's a weak hand, and you go for safety. Okay, so let me show you the 2 hands, how they fit together with the partners. Here's the first one. Okay. And your partner's got 2 nice suits. He rebids 2 clubs. It's a nice bid, saying, partner, look, I want to play on one of the 2 suits. Your choices are passing 2 clubs, which is a very good contract. In fact, I'd expect you to make 2 clubs plus 2 for 130. The problem is I think 2 spades does better. You make 1 fewer trick. Now, clearly, if spades break 3-3, you're very lucky and you make 4 spades. Okay, but again, you still get a much better score in spades. But the key is, if spades break 4-2, I think you are still going to make 9 tricks if you play it carefully. So let's say they lead a heart, you win the ace, you can draw 3 rounds of spades and just play your club winners off, can't you? okay? And if clubs break normally, if spades break 4-2, you will lose a spade trick. But I think all you're going to lose is 3 diamonds and a spade trick. So you'll make 9 tricks in spades. In clubs, a much better contract, you make 10 tricks. But are you happy that 9 tricks in spades is worth 140? 10 tricks in clubs is worth just 130. Okay, and as I say, if spades break evenly here, of course, you get a lucky 170. But of course, you're still surpassing, you know, the 130 for clubs. It's so important that. So 9 tricks in spades. If you're playing teams, clearly here, or or rubber bridge or something, you want to be in clubs here. You're just going to play in 2 clubs plus 2, 130. You're very happy, and there's no exchange of points because they make 140 at the other table, if you see what I mean. So it'll be a 10-point difference, which doesn't score anything. But in duplicate bridge, duplicate pairs, 10 points is so valuable. You get 140 on this board, you're going to get an equal top. Okay, whereas people will be very angry with you playing in 2 clubs thinking, oh, this is ridiculous. They're playing in a 5-2 fit instead of my lovely 4-4 fit. But that is the nuances of the scoring system. Now, of course, every so often, you know, it'll turn out partner spades aren't so good and you'll wish you were in clubs. But you're trying to get a balance here, and because greed is good, it can be worth gambling on the major over the minor. But if I change that hand to the other one where we had a small doubleton spade, now the potential in spades is so much less. And here, as you can see, you're looking at a 19-point hand between the two. So 13 opposite 6. So it's both sides could be playing this contract. And 2 clubs is I think a relatively comfortable contract. On a good day, if the king of spades is right, you might even make with an over trick. Notice that if you did make 2 clubs plus 1, 2 spades might scrape home, but at least 2 clubs plus 1 is the same score as 2 spades. Okay. Whereas, you know, if the spades don't work out, it's going to be it really will be. Imagine North has the king of spades here. You know, it's going to be a real struggle in 2 spades. You really struggle. You know, so it wouldn't surprise me if you go down comfortably. And the point is, you'll go further down than those in clubs. So even if clubs doesn't make, 2 clubs minus 1 is much better than 2 spades minus 2. So the key here was, what I wanted to say was, responders rebid here. You know, if you're very weak, just look for the safest. And that's what we were doing in the previous part of the excuse me, in the previous part of the seminar as well, was basically you know, when you're a weak responder opposite a weak opener, your job is to find the safest outlay. Unless you feel, you know, with 9 points, you're never going for game. But you can be much more confident that you're going to make a contract. Now that's when I want you to start thinking about the best score, as opposed to just thinking let's get out early. So I'm not going to push part. Remember, when it goes 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 spades, partner's not being encouraged in any way, shape or form. That's just saying, look partner, I'm weak, just leave it there. So don't feel the auction's going to carry on blasting into the stratosphere. It should stop exactly where it is there. But the thing to remember is greed is good. And so the extra points you get for the majors is a lovely thing. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, responders rebid is our new topic. However, let's go and have a look at our 5-level decision. Again, these things make a lot of difference if you're in a regular partnership. Now, if you remember last week's, we talked about the sequence not necessarily being forcing. However, this is a very different. When West bids 3 spades in this auction, he is saying, I'm strong and I'm excited. So there is no doubt that we are winning this auction. We are not allowed to pass 4 spades out. So what's important here is that if you choose to pass 4 spades, your partner is not allowed to pass. Are you happy with that? Okay, so that is crucial, very crucial. Now, I think if I remember on the Friday, Suzanne mentioned the 3 spade bid here. It is crucial here in this auction. We discussed this talking about bidding the opponent's suit on Fridays. When you bid a minor and partner bids 3 spades here. So I think West bid is saying, I'm strong and I'm excited, partner. Can you bid 3 no trumps with a spade stopper? It is not guaranteeing some kind of wonderful club support here. Partner could be sitting with ace king to 5 diamonds, you know, a doubleton spade. He might just think his best bid in this auction is 3 spades because, partner, if you've got a spade stopper, I want to play in 3 no trumps. So it's not clear what to bid. However, remember, if you double, you are saying, partner, I believe that playing in 4 spades doubled is our best situation. And I don't believe you feel that. I think you've got a nice hand here. Your partner said he's got a nice hand, so I think you should be looking for more. Obviously, just playing in a game or even some kind of slam. So the way I like to bid a hand like this is I would part, as long as I trust my partner, I know partner will bid again, in inverted commas. That's the trust element. I can pass and then bid. So I don't think I want, remember, we're vulnerable against non-vulnerable. I don't think I really want to play in 4 spades doubled. I fully believe that they will make enough tricks to get a better score than I'll make our game. I believe partner won't have 4 hearts. He should have doubled for takeout over 2 spades. So I think we've got to fit in the minor here. And because we've got to fit in a minor, I think 5 clubs or 5 diamonds is going to be a better contract than 4 spades doubled. So I'm going to pass first, let partner double if he wants to. But if he doubles, I will make another bid. Are you happy with what you bid? I mean, let's open up the hands. Here I would then bid 4 no trumps to say, partner, we're playing in one of the minors. So I would pass first because I want to allow partner, and I would regard passing and then bidding 4 no trumps as a positive action in this auction, and that having bid clubs, that would suggest something in diamonds as well. And there's your partner's hand. He's got a lovely hand actually, but again he may double 4 spades. He hasn't shown club support, so he might bid 5 clubs. Not easy to bid through a slam here, I have to say. I think it's really tricky. We're talking, in fact, in May of this year about minor suit slams. It's a new seminar that I've got to write, and goodness knows I'm thinking about it all the time because there's so many nuances to it. So I think it's really tricky here. For me, though, I'm going to pass. I know that that pass is forcing. I mean, we could try and bid it out here, but let's say I think your partner would double here. He's got a strong balanced hand. Over that, I would bid 4 no trumps, okay, which is suggesting the minor suit holdings. Now, what's interesting is what is the difference between bidding 4 no trumps on the first round and bidding 4 no trumps on the second round? Well, first and foremost, the problem, I mean, as it happens, I mean, you know, so you've got to decide that as a partnership, and I think that's the tricky thing. You can only do this as a regular partnership. You've got to decide which is the stronger. But I think 4 no trumps here. It's all about who's got the spades. If West is... No, to me, 4 no trumps, I mean, that's what Q Plus thinks, Suzanne, but to me, no. I'm not playing in 4 no trumps here. It's just... It's too random. In an auction like this, it's very difficult, you know, because the 3 spade bid hasn't agreed clubs. Oh, Suzanne's saying, would it be, that's interesting, Suzanne, yeah, 4 no trumps in the first auction, could it be to play? Wow. Ooh, I suppose it could, yeah, 3 spade. Yeah, no, I suppose it could. So the suggestion there is 1 club, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades, 4 no trumps as a first bid is to play. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess it could be. Yeah, but anyway, this for me would be showing the minors. I think it's tough. I mean, from West's point of view here, West knows that there's a possibility of a slam, but it all depends on the spades. And at this vulnerability, North could have jumped to bid 4 spades on just 3 card support. You know, and so if the spades are 2-2, clearly a slam doesn't make. If the spades are 2-1, a slam does make. It's as simple as that. What's crazy here is you can see how bad North-South's hands are, but because of the nuances of the bidding, they will make 7 tricks. You know, so 4 spades doubled is a good sacrifice for them. It's crazy, but because they can make 1 diamond ruff in the North hand, you know, they do end up making 7 tricks. So 4 spades doubled is a really poor score for East-West. You just get 500. 5 clubs plus 1s, 5 diamonds plus 1, obviously good scores, but you know, you'd love to get to the slam, but I think it's really difficult for West to bid. It all depends, as I say, on the spades. You know, if they were equal vulnerability, I think you're more likely to think that 2 spades jump and then 4 spades from the partner is on a 10 card fit, and you might gamble on it. But here, I think it's going to be too often you bid 6 diamonds and it turns out the opponents take 2 spades off the top. Here, as you can see, they don't, and so you do make a minor suit slam, but really tricky to bid that way. But the important thing is you do want to make sure you make at least 600 points on this deal. So 620, I think, is not too bad. Well done if you manage to make 1390 for your 6 clubs or 6 diamonds. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's a really tricky. Well, the 5 level decisions are though, and that's what's so frustrating with bridge. You know, they are. It's hard to get them all right. That's all I can say. Let's look at that bidding quiz before we go then. 1 spade from partner, 3 spades from you. 1 spade from partner, 3 spades from you. 4 diamonds from partner. 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds, and it's your bid. Okay, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds, and it's your bid. There's no opposition bidding and nobody is vulnerable. So of course you can look that answer up on the website, whether you're a member or not. Please enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed today's seminar. Enjoy the big seminar on the site as well. Do join us on Wednesday if you fancy that, or on Friday. We have got a couple more weeks looking at the opponent's suit, mostly looking at the examples you send in. Please do send hands in. Of course, the responders rebid is interesting, so do send. There's a lot of interesting ones on that. I love to have your hands because I do enjoy being able to show example hands. So thanks for your company and see you again soon.